kind of starting this one out. Just wanted to prove a little point, show you just a ton of these objects going in one direction, then a bunch of them going in the other direction, a bunch of them going directly above me. Just how many captures I have of these things going which way, this way and that. Alright, the starting out are basically ones coming from left to right. And then we'll do the opposite and go right to left next one. But I got a bunch more of these. As you can see, it's the same thing. Just this kind of swooping motion. I mean, it looks just like that. You can even see the dark asteroid in the foreground with its illumination behind it. Just a green asteroid right there doing a close pass. This one I'm not exactly sure which one it was, but it was a large one, very close, and it was one of the few illuminated crescents I've actually caught. That's the green asteroid again with the lead object above it. Here's another one. I mean, unless they're illuminated, you're only going to really see their outline. That was a good one. Here comes a green asteroid again. The signature multi-trail bleed off. I think that might be the lead object. There's some ones at night. Illuminated front. And you can see it. It's got the dark kind of center. And we're switching sides now. Coming from the other way. I see these all the time. Here comes one. You see at the very bottom, swooping in from left to right, pushing through. Pushing through. Sphere in the front. It's trail cut. Same thing as the first one. This is the lead one up front, the big old spherical one in the back. There's one, I'm not exactly sure which one that is, but that was one of the first ones I caught in 2019. Again in 2019, you can see its trails cutting through. They do this around my house. There's one at night, all the time. You see this glowing orange, swooping in, glowing orange at the front. Ionized glowing trail on the back. That one looks like it's actually got a freaking mouth. Next one, these were the big three. Doing a close pass. More of the lead objects. Pushing through, leaving like a tunnel basically behind them that they cleared. It's Autu's vivid blue above it with the two leads under it. Swooping in again. And again. And these are just my captures from one location. It's not even counting the rest of the world. This is just me and my tiny little spot here. And look how many I've been able to capture on a regular basis. Cutting trails, pushing wakes. I mean, they come in and make, just depending on what time of the year it is, the temperature, you know, their interaction is going to be different. It's going to be more or less colorful. When they come in, they basically come in from like the shadows, the blue, and then they start pushing in that into this denser atmosphere below, creating this kind of like a bow wake, just like a boat does. Then the longer they're in, it kind of pushes and it actually starts kind of a vortex motion on both sides, kind of like kicking a rooster. Here it is again. That's the one I call the ripple face. It's got those wrinkles, tons of those. This one right here. Now we're switching to basically straight up and down, passing right over my head, coming from afar, passing from over my head and going, away from me. I mean, that's not any kind of normal weather cloud. That is a object. I mean, there's no other way about it. Unless you're just in denial. Huge ion bleed off trail. I mean, it's the same thing. That one's not even mine. But no matter where you go, you're going to see that same thing. Leaving that little trail, illuminated spot at the very nose of it. There is again a little sphere with the trail coming up. That's what you got to look for. There's another one at night. And you see how they leave that, it's almost like a silk sheet, and you got a bowling ball or a pool ball rolling on it, how the sheet will wrinkle. It's the same effect that you see on the atmosphere. It's freaking really strange. And that's one of the better close passes. You can actually see its surface details. Now that one right there is one that was far away one day. You can see it's got the three little kind of legs under it. And then here it is a day or two later, coming the other direction. Same objects, just a little closer, a few days apart. Explain that away. Alright, now some time-lapse videos basically of some recent interesting moments. This was today, actually. And you can see the ion bleed off coming off of it. That was basically some of them lead asteroids close, passing over my head at sunset, leaving that long trail coming from the sun, and then everything basically is just getting pulled with it. There's no more cloud because the asteroid's moving away. All the little clouds that kind of billow up from the bottom, the lower levels, are somehow being created by what's above as it passes. As they pass, the lower clouds like billow up. I don't know if it's a electrical interaction, gravitational or what, but that's what seems to happen. This is another repeat, a year apart. I think I threw in a few of these little examples in between the different videos. And you see all those clouds at the base, they're like reaching up, and then once it passes by, their connection's broken and they just kind of fall to the ground, just dissipate. It's like everything's being pulled towards what just passed. It's just getting dragged along with it. Ionized gas basically is what gets illuminated. There's an example of how they're there, but you just can't see them until you can see them. And apparently, all this stuff's gonna be revealed here pretty soon. So I hope I've been mentally preparing everybody for what they're gonna see up there. It's just a little something I threw together to explain kind of how it looks. Now that's a typical OCG cloud right there, OCG sunset. You got the kind of the colors for one, but all those little horizontal clouds, basically, they're like trails. Trails of the asteroids, the objects, and a bunch of those little things are zipping around in there too, I guarantee it. When you see that kind of cloud, that means they're they're getting kind of close to where your location is, and maybe the next day they'll be right on top of you. I mean, you could, I swear, I could even see those asteroids. They're right above that. I don't know if they're right above it, but they're above it. And sometimes they'll even drop into that kind of ionized cloud that you see right there. They'll kind of drop in almost like throwing a ball into water. It'll kind of glunk in, and then basically it moves back up almost like it's water. And as they're in these lower levels, you get all the turbulence. It's just a lot thinner than what you'd see in water, but it's the same. See right there, you see the shadow up to the top right. That was one moving above it. It's shadow being cast. This is why people don't see them, because they're all hidden above this crap. It's very rare you're going to get a clear shot of them, because when they come, close like this, you get a sky full of modest clouds or something like this. Then of course they're moving around in the shadows of the planets. And any kind of space light we cannot see until it basically gets refracted by, atmosphere. The prism effect. I mean, you see that black looking sky up there. If there were no planets up there, or no asteroid debris fields, or whatever blocking out the sun up there, you would not be able to get a pitch black sky like that. It would always be a light blue or some shade of blue, maybe with a little depth to it, but it's usually been baby blue. Once these things started getting closer, I mean, that color of the sky, not to your eyes. Your eyes can't see shit. I hate to break it to you. Our eyes suck when it comes to, differentiating. There's another illuminated one right there. You can even see the asteroid right there to the left. Another example from, I think, 2019. But with the camera, like these security cameras, especially these Amcrests, when something moves over you, you see it, because that blue sky will go from deep dark blue to black, basically, and you'll have to go into the settings and mess with the brightness, and no matter how high you adjust it, it's still not going to reveal what's up there. It'll just be a void. Or if A2, something like that, or an illuminated one is close by, you'll get that electric vivid blue. So, I mean, you see how it's black, up above it. And that blackness goes away as soon as the whatever's above it moves on. I've watched that so many times. I mean, most of you guys have lives. This is my life, trying to figure this crap out. When I have time, I do some work. But this is my obsession. It's just too damn interesting. And what makes it even more interesting is the fact that, pretty much everybody is oblivious to it. The governments lie about it. Just the cover-up factor, the ignorance, the resistance from everybody to even look at it just makes me want to dig in even further. So I'm not a quitter. I'll sit here and compile enough shit that I can convince anybody, assuming they sit and, look at it. I'm trying to make it, interesting enough, colorful, bright enough, entertaining, short of scratch and sniff and pop-ups. This is the best I can do. But the rest should just be more videos, so sit back and enjoy it.